Hi, my name is Brian Knight from Pragmatic Works, and whether you're looking forward to going back to the office or not, we want to do so in a safe manner. So in this video, we're going to show you how to build an application inside of Power Apps, and I'm going to give you that application in order to get back to work safely. And this is a great starter kit for getting going. So stay tuned. So welcome back. In this video, we're going to walk you through how to create a solution inside of Power Apps to monitor the safety of your workplace. Now, we're also going to provide that solution to you in the download and the links down below in the description of this video. And I'll walk you through the actual installation of that and configuration of that solution a little bit later. Now, this is an as-is solution. And as you add comments to the description of this video on what you want changed, let me know, and we'll do our best to go ahead and add that to the solution also. All right, so let's begin and see what's actually included in this. So first of all, if I go back over to our make.powerapps, I went to my environment, and then I went to solutions you're seeing down here. So by going to solutions, we will then import it a little bit later, and I'll walk you through the actual importing of that solution. But inside of here, we're giving you a role that tells you who can actually access the data in this. We gave you a Canvas application. Let me go ahead and open that up in the background while we're talking. We gave you let me go back to the solution. Oh, there we go. We gave you an admin application. That admin application right here is going to be for your users to actually manage this data and configure it. And there's also things like a flow down here for doing like in-app notifications, and then a whole slew of entities, including these things called environment variables, which you can manage by just clicking on that and actually changing your code for certain things. So your hex code for what kind of color scheme you want to use and all of that. So with that now done, let's take a look at what this actually looks like, and then we'll walk through how to install it and how to configure it also. So first of all, I'm going to open up the workspace admin app. You see right here, this is the admin app right here. See, it says model-driven app. I'm going to open that up. That's already opened in the background. I also opened up the Canvas application right here. Now with that now open, let's go ahead and take a look at what this application looks like. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Canvas application, which is meant for our users, and then I'm going to open up the admin side of this where we can actually configure the app, and we'll see it side by side and how the impact of what we do in the admin side, the model-driven app side, impacts this. Now everything here is written in CDS, Common Data Services, so all the data is stored inside of that. One important thing to note here is we are not storing any kind of privacy data for your users. I say you're not storing, because I'm going to give this to you and to run in your environment. You're not going to be storing any kind of privacy data or HIPAA data inside of this. So there's 4 things this app does. First of all, it makes sure you acknowledge the policies of the company, that you stand 6 feet apart, yada, yada, yada. It makes sure that you have checked in, that you have no symptoms and all those kind of things. And on this side, it is not logging the symptoms. It's only logging your ability to come to the office or not. Your work schedule, where are you going to be? You're going to be at home or at work. And then lastly, the shared workspaces. Are they clean or are they not? Those are the 4 things it's going to do. So let's start with the policies here. Let me hit the play button here. There we go. And I'm going to kind of undock this admin app so we can kind of see it side by side. So first of all, the policies. So this is the admin app, and all the configuration for the admin app is down here on the left and on the bottom here. Policy configurations though, stand 2 meters apart, no more than 6 people in the elevator. All these things you add by hitting the new button. And you configure the message for whatever you wish, and that's going to impact the screen you're seeing right here. So each of these 5 policies are what you see under policy configurations, and you got the 5 right here. So your user, all they have to do is acknowledge it, hit confirm, and now there's a record that's been added now to policy acknowledgement right here. So it said Brian Knight acknowledges policy at 4:35 on 6:10. So now we can see the policy has now been acknowledged, and Brian's ready to work from a policy side. I know the policies that the company has now. And you'll see on the app side it says complete now. Now I need to specify, am I actually ready, what kind of symptoms I have? And again, when I click ready to work here, any symptoms I click on are not logged. Only my availability is logged, okay? So when I go back over here, I'm going to click on symptoms. This one is called safe to work conditions. Now these what 6 or 5 you're seeing right here are what you see right here. So cough. If I click on cough, you specify is a cough. Is that bad enough to where somebody has to work at home because of a cough? You decide that. Should they seek medical help, like working at home, or are they eligible to work? So that's up to you. So that's under this safe to work conditions. Back over here again. So if I say, yeah, I have a cough, and I also am immune compromised. I'm over 70 years old, 80 years old. I've had some things in the past that have happened, and now I'm immune compromised. So if I check these 2 options and I hit confirm, what's going to happen, it says, okay, hey, you were immune compromised right here. And because of that, you have to work at home. Whatever the worst of those are is what's going to be specified. So you can figure what works for you in this case. So because I said I'm immune compromised, I'm getting work from home. Now this message you're seeing right here, this is a very elementary message I put in here. We should put like guidelines and all those kind of things, but that message can be configured under result message. So again, you're saying, please continue to work at home until your condition clears up. Right here, please continue to work at home. So this is what you would change right here to impact this message you're seeing right here. So I'm going to confirm that. Now that I've done that, I have this big yellow bar going across that some companies are going to ultimately, you show the security desk as you're walking and it says, yeah, you can't come in, I'm sorry, it says work at home. So if I go back here again and say, all right, 3 days later, let me cancel real quick. It'll say my next check-in has to be in 3 days. So if I say ready to work a check, I say, all right, I no longer have none of these symptoms. I'll hit confirm. And now I get the green bar. I'm now eligible to work in the office with again, my next check-in on 6/13. Now on 6/13, I'm going to get an alert at 9 a.m. in the morning for me to do my check-in. And you can figure that time and you can figure how often that happens. But whenever that time comes up, you're going to get a data alert if you have the Power app installed, you being the user using this application. Now that 3-day window that I specified here can be configured under environment variables, and you'll see something here called check-in days. And that check-in days right now, the default is 7, but mine is configured for 3 days. So you would configure that 3-day right here, just edit that property and make it however many days works for you as far as we want daily check-ins or weekly check-ins or every 3-day check-ins. That's up to you. The next thing you may want to do is you may want to specify here where are people going to be at. Now this is used from a reporting perspective to make sure there's not too many people going to be in that building at any given day. So I specified that I'm going to be in the office on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But if I want to change that, I can go ahead and say, yeah, I'm not going to be at the office until Tuesday and Thursday now. Okay, and I'm off Saturday and Sunday. So you can figure what works for you, but this is going to be used for Power BI reports later to specify how many people are going to be in the office at any given point in time. So you can kind of do resource planning, cube planning, and all those kind of things. I'm going to confirm that now, and I've now completed my work location assignment. The last thing I may want is, hey, I'm in the office. Is there any coffee available? So I can go search for, hey, what locations actually have a coffee available? If I want to go to the break room, you can see, hey, you can go to the break room. It's ready to go, but it hasn't been sanitized recently. So because of that, it's turning yellow right now. So that room is due for a cleaning. The next check-in was supposed to be at 6/9 yesterday at 4:25, and nobody has sanitized that recently. I can go into that record and see if nobody's actually sanitized it recently. I can report that as an issue. It's going to email whoever is responsible for that space, in this case, me. And again, you're going to access that under shared spaces, and you'll see a list of spaces and who is responsible for those spaces and how often must they be cleaned. Okay, so if I say, all right, I'm a good citizen here, I'll go ahead and do that myself. It is now, I've sanitized all the spaces, it's ready to use, and I'll hit submit. It will turn from nothing to green now. I can also go through then and say, hey, you know what? I looked at this coffee machine here. It's got junk all over it. I'm going to do a new inspection and say it is closed and hit submit. Alternatively, I can report an issue, and it will then send an email to whoever the owner is and report an issue that, hey, that's an issue. But I, as an employee, can say, I'm not comfortable the way that this looks right now. I'm going to go ahead and close this. So everybody has a shared authority to close down spaces if it looks like it's not sanitized. Okay? So that is the application. Again, it has 4 components here. We can go through and do shared workspaces, say where we're working at, acknowledge a policy, and then every so often we can acknowledge this or this. Okay, so all sorts of cool stuff we can do. I went ahead and said I was ready to work now, and I get that green bar going across. Okay, so that's the core application. Now, the model-driven app, as I've been sharing with you, has the configuration on the left, and it also has things logged. Like if I want to find out the status of all my employees, we can see all the status reports I did. I did one where I had to work at home, and now I'm eligible to work a few minutes later. We can also see the check-ins right now at one record level. Is Brian able to work at home or not? Am I able to work in the office or not? And as you can see, I am eligible to work in the office. We also can go through and see the work schedule, and here's where I'm at, here's where Liz is at. And we can see that who's actually acknowledged a policy and who has not. Well, in this case, Brian and Liz have both acknowledged a policy. Again, not PHI data, personal health information data is not stored here. We didn't want to even cross that bridge of storing HIPAA data or PHI data inside of this. And then lastly, you can see all the times that an inspection has occurred and has been opened and closed. And at a high level, at shared spaces, at a high level, what is open and what is closed right here, and how often they must they be configured. You can select any row and hit edit to actually go inside that row. And you can build a Power BI report. I want to build a Power BI report for you guys so you can kind of see all that as well. So with that now done, that's a lot of stuff inside of here. I'm going to packaged up in a zip file. It is available down below, and that's in the description of this video. But now that we've seen what it does, let's see how we install it, how we configure it, and then how we get it live for our environment. And this is a launching pad for you, and you can customize this however you want, but also go ahead and put your comments down below on how you want it customized so we can go ahead and do this for everybody as well. So if you got some great idea that you think other companies might be interested in, put it in the comments section, and we'll try our best to add that as well for others as well. So let's go ahead and go back here again. And inside of this, let's go back to, let me close this out. There we go. And what I've done is I exported this solution out for you guys. Now for color codes and all that, you have full control of this. So if you want to change the color code, you can go back to the model-driven app. Or if you see the ones that have environment variables, you can actually go in here, select the primary background color hex, and add your own hex colors for like that color blue that you saw in my case. You can put whatever colors work for you down on current value. I give you a default color, and you can override my default right here under current value. Same thing for the accent color, which is the color of the buttons, as well as the background color right down here. So you can control all of that, and you also can control the environment variables, the days of check-in right here. Now you saw in my case, it's set for 3 days right now. So you can control it here, or you can control it in the model-driven application. Okay, I find it a little bit easier to control right here, but it's up to you. Okay. So we have all this stuff ready to go. You've downloaded the zip file. Now how do you install it? Let me go and go to a new environment here. Go to this environment right here. And I'm going to go ahead and I went to make.powerapps.com. And again, we're using CDS, so it does require a license of Power Apps, of course, or Dynamics. And at make.powerapps.com, I'm going to go to Solutions, and I'm going to click Import. Okay. Now this might take a few seconds for this to import as we're doing this, and for the screen to kind of go away here. And this process is going to take about 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes to import the first time. And then while it's importing, I'll hop over and show you a more complete environment that's already ready to go. So let me see here. Oh, okay, this is the first Brian Knight environment. And for some reason, the first time you hit this, it takes a few seconds. You'll then go ahead and download my file. Go ahead and install it. Now I'm on, for the purpose of this video, this is the flavor that we're on right now. Now you'll see new versions. I'll get uploading this version. This 6/10/20 is the date. That tells you what day I installed it. And this is the 4th iteration on this date, version 1.4 of the application. So if you download it and you see a different version number than that, that means I've added some new stuff since that time. Okay? YouTube lasts a long time, right? All right, so we'll hit next. It's then going to say, hey, I'm about to import this solution. Now this is a process that takes about 4 to 5 minutes likely to do. We can see all the details of what's going to be imported. All the entities that I did are new entities. I didn't actually modify your entities at all. I'm pointing to your user table, which has a list of all the users for Power Apps. That's the only thing we're doing. We also created a new role, a new security role, where you can define who has rights or not. I'll then click on Next. You don't need the SDK if you don't want it, and then hit Import. Now this will take, again, a few minutes to go ahead and import the solution. If you get errors, it'll actually report an error that, hey, I'm missing a dependency or something like that at some point. But I've tried importing this in about 4 different environments so far, and it imports clean every single time. But let me go ahead and tuck this away. And while this is importing, this might take about 3 or 4 minutes. Let's open up another environment here, and we'll go to it to see what it looks like when it's first imported. So let me go over here again. I'm in Brian Knight's environment. I think I'm in my second one now. I'll go to Solutions, and this is a brand new environment that I imported a little bit earlier today. So I'm going to hit this Back to Work solution. Okay. And we'll see how we can change our hex codes and all that. I could say, you know what, I want people to check in every 7 days. So I'll go ahead and check that employee meta. I didn't want me to pick up that, excuse me. Let me go back again. I can check the environment variable if I meant to click on there, and it would then do all that for me. Okay, so this is a little bit older solution. You'll see I'm actually importing right now, and I'm almost done, about halfway done with that one. But if I want to change the check-in days, I then can change it from 3 to 7, hit save, and that's now enacted now for my users also. Okay? So the other thing we can do is, first thing we want to do is, if we open up this application here, this Canvas app, let's go ahead and open that bad boy up. There we go. And I'll hit the play button. Again, this is the new environment. I'm about 3/4 uploaded now. And in a moment here, we're going to see, it's going to see a whole bunch of stuff here. First of all, I've already completed the piece here for acknowledgement. But if I want to change the items here, what we can do is we can go over to the model-driven application and make those changes. Like, what are your policies? What are your symptoms? Right now I have no symptoms in there. So how would I fix that? And how would I fix the other things? We've already kind of seen this already. What I'm going to do is go to my solution that we've already opened right here. Okay, solution right here, excuse me. I'm going to go back to that solution again. Go back to solution again, there we go. And I'm going to open up the model-driven application. So I'm going to look for that WorkSafe admin, find the model-driven app, select this, and hit the play button. Okay, there we go. Now it's for some reason it's actually importing right now, so I'm gonna hit the play button right here, and we can go ahead and do that. Okay, because the play button is that's actually available in the main app center right now. So now I can go and I can see, all right, what policies have I configured right now? So I'll select policy configuration, and again, this is an older version of the app here. That's where we're seeing this, and I'll hit new, and I'm gonna create a new policy. I'll call this policy. Look nice. All right, no, I won't call that. I'll just say stand apart. My description here. And when I hit save and close, that policy is now enacted now, and you'll see the result message here. So all these kind of things right here need to be configured. So I think my app is now ready to go. It is ready to go. So let's go into that app now. So you see, first of all, that the import solution had one warning. That warning can be ignored. It is a warning about translations that are not necessary for this. That can be ignored. We can close this, and now we have a fresh new environment with the new solution. So let's take a look at what it looks like now. Okay, so this is the one we just imported. It's the first Brian Knight environment. Yep, all right, perfect. I'm gonna hit back to work. Okay, now that we've done, there's two things we're going to notice. I'm going to close all these other screens here, so we just have one new environment, and you can see how it looks from scratch. First of all, if I go to my app screen here, you're going to see there's two apps that have been installed in the Brian Knight environment. I have my COVID safety app. Let's go ahead and open that with one window. And I have my model-driven app somewhere here, WorkSafe admin right here. I'll click on that. So I'm going to open up both of these apps. We're going to need both of those to make this work for our employees. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and allow Outlook. This is used because I want to make sure where that can request access. So that button you saw before where I can report some issue with shared spaces, that's why that Outlook is there, so people can actually use the email. So first of all, we're going to see a list of things like shared spaces. Let's start there. Start really simple. So under shared spaces, I'm going to add a new shared space. Okay, so I went to my admin app. I'm going to call this one just break room. It is right now ready to use. The responsible party is going to be Devin Knight. It should be inspected every 12 hours. The last inspection, I'll leave all that stuff blank, and then I'll hit save and close. So that's my first shared space. It could be the sixth floor break room, whatever we want to call this. So now, if I go back to the app and I hit shared workspaces, we're going to see the break room now on here. It's never been inspected. That's why it's yellow right now. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this little this button right here, which creates an inspection. And I want to say, yep, I sanitized it. It's ready for use, and submit. Now it turns green. So first piece, hooray, done. Let's look at our next one now. Our next one is we want to configure the policies of the company. So let's go over here. We'll hit new button on a policy, and I'll create a new policy called test policy, whatever. And we'll call this just test policy, or like stand apart, 6 foot apart, for example, 2 meters apart. I'll hit save and close. And now that policy is now created. So if I go back home again, I'll have that acknowledge policy, and we'll see our one policy right here. I'll confirm that, hit confirm, and now that one's done. Okay. The last thing we have to do is this check-in. What kind of symptoms do we care about? So let's go ahead and select that last one here. Okay. I'm going to go to not shared spaces. I'm going to go to safe to work conditions. I'm going to create a few conditions here. I'll for the first one will be fever. And the fever means, hey, no, you gotta stay home. Eligible to work in the office? No, you have to work at home. I'll go ahead and save to close this one. Oh, I'll call this one fever, lasting more than whatever, 100 degrees, whatever. Hit save and close. Let's create one more policy here also. I'll create one called traveled recently. And the condition description was I traveled in a plane, whatever. I know my spelling is not perfect right now. I'm not caring about that right now. So now that I've done that, I have two policies. Both of them say I got to work at home now. So, and I also probably want to create one just from a usability says no symptoms. And that means, let me go ahead and describe that. None of these. And then that means I can come to the office. Save and close. So with those three done, I can hit this ready to work check. And we'll see the 3 symptoms we just created. My spelling may not be correct, maybe the best right now. I'll say I have no symptoms, and I can confirm. And then now I'm going to get the green light. Now the message that you saw right here was reported back over here. Again, under result message. We'll then hit the new button, and I'm going to create a new message that says, if you are ready to work, what must the message be? So I'll go ahead and create that here in this case. I'm going to go ahead and abort that right now. And then go back to this again, and I'll confirm that. Okay, so now we've done all that. We have our shared spaces. We have our, the last thing we need is a work location schedule. Now this requires no configuration. I can just go through and say, Brian's gonna be at work every single day, and then except for Saturday and Sunday. Confirm that, and I'm now good on that one as well. So by doing that, by the way, it actually wrote to that table under here. It wrote to the employee locations, work location schedule, and you'll see that the Brian Knight record is at work other than 2 days off. So this is how we can do it. This is a really simple application to kind of start getting the world back to the office if they choose to do that. You set the policies, you set what you care about. There's one more piece that is important that I want to make sure I bring up as well, and that is the flow in here. So if I go back over here again, scroll down, look for the flow that you're seeing right here. I'm going to click on that. It's going to open up the Power Automate environment. So optionally, if you want this, you can turn this on. Right now, it's turned off by default, so you just have to turn it on. And first of all, you want to go ahead and edit it. And what this flow does is it will notify through an in-app notification whether you want your employees to get a in-app notification when they're due for a health check-in. So there's 2 things we have to do here. First of all, under connections, we just have to click the sign in button. So it's going to go ahead and configure it right here. So now it's going to configure it. There we go. It's pointing to my employee check-in metadata table now. Then we have to get one critical piece. First of all, we have to go look at our see what it says connections right here. We need one more piece. Let's go to connections, and it's saying sign in again. We'll click on the sign in button again. The last piece is this connection information right here. To get this working, so first of all, it's asking us for a connection to the application that we want to erase the notification on. So to do that, we have to get the app ID and the name for it. So I'll just call this just Health COVID app. Okay, so whatever you want to call that, that's up to you. It's just a name of the connection so you can find it later. But what you do care about is the app ID right here. Okay, so for that app ID, I'm going to go back out to my environment, okay, and see this is my environment that I created earlier. There's my there's my COVID workspace safety application. I'll hit the ellipsis button right here and go to details. Now your app ID is right there. I'm going to copy and paste that app ID in, and if you want this to work the way it is, I'm going to go ahead and paste that link in, and I'll hit create. That's going to create the connection. And here's what my app will look like. It says, Brian, it's time for a quick check-in in the COVID app. Tap this app to go ahead and open it up. So because I have that turned on here, all the user has to do is tap it, and it's going to open up the application and go to the screen they care about. Additionally, if you want this to work in your own environment at a certain time, like right now, I have this firing off 9 a.m. every morning. But you can specify what time you want that to fire off. Maybe it's 6 p.m. at night. Whatever you want, you configure this right here for your liking. You then save it. You can then go back, and then you choose when you want to turn it on or not right there. Okay? So once you already turn it on, then you're rocking and rolling. This app is going to notify your users to open up the app and your environment. So again, there's 2 action items. You download the link down below, and then once you download that, you can configure it to work in your environment. You also, please do notify us and let us know if there's anything that you want to change in this application also, and let us know what you think of it also. This is a starting point. The goal of this was to create an accelerator so you can get started. If you want us to customize this for your environment specifically, please do email me also. It's bknight@pragmaticworks.com, and let us know if you want it customized in your environment. Or if you want an application built for your environment. We love building applications, what we're passionate about. So reach out to us if you want us to actually at pragmaticworks.com. We also offer Power Apps training you can find at pragmaticworks.com, including a lot of free classes as well. Well, thank you for watching this video. I know it was a little bit longer video because we had to walk through how to configure this in your environment. But thank you for watching this video on how to make the workplace safer with Power Apps. Please do subscribe and hit the bell so you can find out future videos as well. And have a great day. Thank you.